Greetings, fellow time travelers, and welcome back to Small Town Gen X. I'm your host, Kate DeCoste, and I am beyond excited to embark on another journey of our favorite era. In this episode, we'll unravel the fabric of time with This Week in Gen X History. But let's not delay any longer. It's time to open up the time capsule and rediscover the treasures of the past. Let's dive in and rewind to This Week in History. In 1971, the show Canyon premiered on CBS and it ran for 5 seasons. William Conrad starred as the private eye Frank Canyon. In 1972, the first The Godfather premiered. And in 1973, the CBS soap opera The Young and the Restless premiered. In 1977, Annie Hall premiered in the movie theaters. Annie Hall was directed, starred, and written by Woody Allen. In the romantic comedy, Allen played a man trying to figure out how he failed with his relationship with a woman played by Diane Keaton. Annie Hall was nominated for 5 Oscars and won 4, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Actress for Keaton at the 50th Academy Awards in 1978. Although Allen has become a controversial figure in recent years, this film has been marked as one of his best and is often listed as one of the funniest movies ever made. In 1978, the end of The Carol Burnett Show. Carol Burnett is one of America's funniest comedians. Beginning in September of 1967, she was given her own variety comedy show on CBS. For 11 years, Burnett, Harvey Korman, Vicki Lawrence, Lyle Wagner, Tim Conaway, and later Dick Van Dyke brought viewers to tears with laughter with such notable characters like Mr. Tudball, Mrs. Wiggins, Stella Toddler, Mother Marcus, Mama, Eunice, and The Oldest Man. After 278 episodes, the show aired its last This Week in 1978. During its run, the show won 25 Primetime Emmy Awards and is considered one of TV's greatest TV shows of all time by TV Guide and Time magazine. In 1980, Nightline begins. On November 8, 1979, ABC aired a new late-night show called The Iran Crisis, partially as a way to compete with NBC's The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Frank Reynolds started the 20-minute-long broadcast, but was soon taken over by Ted Koppel. In late March of 1980, the show's name was changed to Nightline. After 444 days of the crisis, the show was able to bring other stories with a mix of investigation journalism and interviews that were longer than would be seen during the evening news. On November 22, 2005, Koppel retired from Nightline after 25 years as the anchor of the program. Many still remember where they were when they first heard that President Ronald Reagan had been shot in 1981. John Hinckley Jr. shot at Reagan outside of a Washington, D.C. hotel. Ironically, the 70-year-old wasn't even aware that he had been shot at first, and even though he was suffering from a collapsed lung, he walked into the hospital under his own power and told his wife just before surgery, "Honey, I forgot to duck." In 1982, Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder once teamed up to sing the song Ebony and Ivory, which uses piano keys as a metaphor for racial equality. Ironically, due to their personal work obligations, the two didn't actually sing the duet together and had to record their parts separately. It spent 7 weeks in the top spot on the Billboard Hot 100 and became the 4th biggest hit of the year. This week, we had a lot of movies and TV shows premiere. In 1983, we see The Outsiders in movie theaters. And in 1984, Romancing the Stone hits the movie theaters. 9 Perfect Strangers in 1986 are on TV. Lucas, the movie in 1986. Beetlejuice in 1988. Heathers in 1989. The Cutting Edge in 1992. And on our TV, we have Dateline, which premiered in 1992. And then again, back on the screen was Tommy Boy in 1995 and The Matrix in 1999. Well, that's a wrap for today's journey through Gen X history on Small Town Gen X. We hope you enjoyed reminiscing about the music, the memories, and the moments that defined our generation. Before we sign off, we want to extend a huge thank you to our listeners for joining us on this nostalgic ride. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to continue exploring the sights and the sounds of our beloved era with you. Before we bid adieu, why not sprinkle some love our way by dropping a review on your preferred podcast platform? Your feedback fuels the flame of Gen X and helps more wanderers find their way to the magic of small town Gen X. Until next time, keep rocking those scrunchies, cranking up the volume on your boombox, and embracing the spirit of small town Gen X wherever you go.